You want to talk more about Quiet on the Set?
Nope.
And,
What a fucking name for it, too.
dude, right? No, that's a great name for it.
It's something. Is that what you wanted to talk about?
No,
No.
but I mean, do you have something else?
What do you have?
Nothing.
You keep it a secret.
No, that's for later.
Oh, as pertaining to the
Movie.
Got it.
Yes, Queen.
No,
Oh my God, what was it?
we just need more people on the front lines. Spread democracy. That's all I've been doing. And then get my ass handed to me.
I've been working, haven't been able to play. I just remembered there was this really annoying guy when we worked at Z Pizza that came in during Pride weekend, and he would take a bite of his pizza. And
I
then
remember he's
it's
so ingrained.
I
in you.
hate him
I
so
know.
much. Holla! I was like, oh my God.
I'm assuming drunk.
Never have I ever wanted to create a hate crime so bad.
Whoa. Heard it here first, folks. Jeez.
Holla!
It was like after every bite, right?
Every bite, a drink of his beer, slam on the table. Holla!
Hey, that was their weekend. They were just living their best life. Mine was the fans. I hate the
No,
fans.
the snapping.
I don't know. I find it really unnerving. I don't
Dude.
know what the
The people, when I worked coat check at the Cuff, how many of those would come through and they'd be like, "Can you check my fan?" Yeah.
It's really jarring noise.
It is, especially
behind you.
There was
like,
like,
what the fuck?
or like just like coming like through like a little box window. You know, it's like, "What's coming at me?"
I've never been so scared of something so not scary, and that makes me upset. You know what I mean? You're like, this is so not a threat, but every time it.
Well, there was one dude.
Unless you're a Mortal Kombat character.
yeah, Kitana.
Yeah, there you go.
There was one like dude. It was like so they're averagely like about this big, you know.
Sometimes they're really big.
No, yeah, that's like someone had one that's really. It was like when he would like close that whack. I was like, who are you beating?
I think that.
This isn't that type of kink bar.
Read the sign.
Actually, it kind of is that kind of kink bar. Now that I think about it. Anyhow,
That was the weirdest cold open.
right? That was a journey.
Yeah.
You want it? I don't know. Listen.
Hate crime. This is Tommy.
This is Jacob.
This is Tommy Jacob's mixtape.
Born of a jackal. No, yeah. No, you're born of a. Remember, I pieced this together. You're beautiful. So, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
You're born of a jackal. You're beautiful. I didn't put together. I never really thought about that lore of the Antichrist being born of a jackal. That was lost to me until rewatching this movie. Apparently, I have actually seen this movie.
You remembered it?
As I was watching, I was like, oh yeah, I remember that. Oh yeah, okay. Yeah. I watched it when I was very young though, like maybe like 13, 14. So that's why I was like unlocking. Mm-hmm. Yeah. But no, yeah. So no, I didn't realize in that song that he's calling her the Antichrist. Yeah. Because of the born of a jackal. But she's beautiful. And she moves through moonbeams slowly.
Welcome back, everyone. If you hadn't seen, we are doing... We're jumping back quite a ways to 1976.
Yes.
We are doing the Omen because today, the prequel...
Yeah.
We're doing the first Omen because the first Omen's coming out today.
On this
in
day.
a theater near you.
The Antichrist rises again.
The
South will rise again.
Or something. I don't know. I'm not entirely sure. Trailer looked...
I think... The trailer also weird that they have the hanging and the hang. Yeah, that's why I thought it was a remake because of the hanging scene.
Yeah, but no, it's a prequel to.
I think it's gonna be about how Damien was conceived.
Yes, I think it's gonna be this kind of weird Rosemary's Baby kind of thing, more so.
Rosebud. No, that's a different
movie.
Have you seen Rosemary's Baby?
Yeah.
Okay.
The movie's great.
No, that's actually really good.
It's
Yeah.
fucking terrible.
Well, I mean, Rosemary's Baby is kind of like the spawn of like.
Yeah, because that was
this.
1968.
Yeah.
Something like that.
Yeah.
But yeah, so we're kind of jumping back in time. We're going to talk because the Omen became kind of staple for this genre.
Yeah.
Over time. So we're going to talk about the movie that spawned it all, The Omen, in 1976, which we have never done anything that far back, I don't think. Not that I can recall.
1981, I think, might be the oldest. I don't think we've done 70s yet.
No, yeah. So this is our first time talking about the 70s. But before we get
what
into
a great time, 70s. I was there.
Is it?
That throw you off?
Yeah. Getting into it, did you like it? Really, I loved it.
I mean, I definitely I appreciate it for its
It's wild.
It's bonkers.
A wild movie.
The very beginning, I was like, "What the fuck did that priest just say?"
Yeah, no, this is a wild.
The lack of autonomy for just women or his wife. I'm just like, does she just?
This is his story, okay?
Yeah, I was like, yeah, man.
It's also just wild too because I found myself forgetting for a minute about Damien altogether. I'm like, oh right. We're doing all this for the kid. I forgot he was even fucking. This is a one-man show over here. I completely forgot. But yeah, this was.
That's also kind of the impressive thing about this movie, is that it's more about the presence of evil and Satan. That is the scary part of it, and not so much the child.
Yeah, it reminded me of my rewatching. I mentioned it a while ago, but my rewatching of The Ring.
Yes.
The investigation of this larger entity, supernatural entity that is basically constantly following you and watching you and trying to figure out the origin of it to then figure out how to stop it. I liked that a lot.
I should rewatch that.
The Ring? I mean, they crossed Grudge and Ring. Wait, what did I just say? I said The Ring, right? I didn't say The Grudge, right?
Yeah.
Okay. No, I rewatched The Ring last year, and it's good. It's really good.
That movie scared the living daylights out of me.
Yeah, that's a cool movie. And that whole sense too of the investigation. Yeah. Because she's a journalist, and
when she crawls out of the TV, I was curled in the fetal position, rocking back and forth.
Scary Movie kind of ruined that scene for me.
That's fair. Scary Movie 2.
2, thank you. Let's go.
Did I show you the clip that
the wrestling thing?
Yeah. Okay.
But on to The Omen. Yes. Released in the UK.
Did you give a synopsis?
No, I didn't. Kind of guess we did. A couple's life. A couple's life is turned to a nightmare when they discover their son may be the Antichrist.
I think it is important to say that he's a U.S. diplomat.
Yeah. Okay.
And I don't know why, but I feel like that's important
because it's a huge part of the plot.
Yeah. Well, ish.
No, the sea of turmoil.
That's right. The end. Yeah.
It was. They needed him.
Yeah. Oh, that's right. Yeah.
So basically, this under bonker circumstances, they get a child, and then on his 5th birthday, it becomes apparent that he is in fact the embodiment of the son of Lucifer.
I'm doing math wrong in my head right now. Anywho, oh yeah, we'll bring it back up, but this is exactly what the priest said. Your wife need never know. What?
I mean, if everything went to plan, she wouldn't have needed to know. It's true. What you don't know can't hurt you, I guess, unless it's a demonic child.
Quiet on the set.
Wants to kill you.
So you were going.
First released June 6th, 1976 in the UK, and then released June 25th, 1976 in the US.
Yeah.
So.
I did find on Wikipedia that this was number 6 in the box office for the year of 1976. So this was like a box office success.
Yes, and I was reading a lot too because this is 2-3 years after The Exorcist. So, and I was kind of talking to my mom about it too. That just this is the era of a lot of this kind of theme of demonic possession stuff.
There is something I was reading about that on Wikipedia as well, and it does like it starts a lot with Rosemary's Baby.
Yes, as like really.
And then what? The Exorcist was 1973 or 71. I know it's early 70s.
I think 3 years, so 1970. I'm gonna
1973 sounds right.
That sounds right. Yeah.
And Exorcist is like critically acclaimed as like. I mean, I still think it's one of the scariest movies.
I've actually never sat through it.
Really?
Yeah, which is weird because I like this occult stuff.
And like, I don't, this cult stuff like this doesn't freak me out. But
really? It totally gets me.
Like, I don't care about religion. I have no religious ties.
I know, but the concept is just like.
And that's the thing. Is like the concept, I'm like, oh, I mean, yeah, end of days. That's a really interesting idea. But I have no connection to this idea of Christian God and Christian Satan for me to care about there's no circumstances in it for me.
Blasphemy!
Yeah, I don't believe in God.
Anyways.
I don't believe in that. I don't believe in the idea of a God like that, a Christian God, an omnipotent God. You know,
this shit always gets me. I really like it, but it's like I enjoy watching it.
Yeah, no, and it's like
Constantine, Devil's Advocate.
Yeah, I mean that's why it's like I really love Rosemary's Baby.
I didn't mean to do that.
Constantine, what?
And Devil's Advocate.
Oh,
Keanu
Reeves.
Yeah, I didn't mean to do that, but you know.
But
ooh, that new one.
and then even like, but like The Exorcist, the thing that freaks me out about The Exorcist is because of it's the possession, and I think it's that lack of control that's going over this little girl. And then also just the makeup, everything about it, just like they make it look like horrific. Like any like possession movie does freak me out a little bit.
That new one looks cool.
Oh,
the two, two of them, and they're bouncing off each other.
The Exorcist Begins or something.
I'm sure that's a thing.
Yeah, I know.
That's another one. It's like they took these in name and then just ran with it.
But yeah, no. So like, I mean, because this even like 4 or 5 years later, 1981 or so, Steven Spielberg does The Poltergeist.
Yeah, but isn't The Poltergeist? That's more of a ghost story.
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah.
Amityville Horror.
Oh.
That's also
that's one of the few books I've ever read that scared the living shit out of me. That's Ghost Story as well, though.
Yeah, didn't Ryan Reynolds wasn't?
He was in
the remake.
Yeah. He was terrifying in it, actually.
Yeah, it was like he was really good in that. Like I remember the movie being kind of whatever, but he's
like chopping wood and just
his eyes are getting all bloodshot.
Yeah.
I remember him being good in that. It was weird for him.
Yeah, no,
from what he became, you know.
That was during his like not doing comedy time. But yeah, no, it's 76, like 70s. Yeah, there's this rise, and I think culturally there's like just the present, like there's this Christian idea nation that is now becoming a little bit more like, I don't want to say questioning of religion, but it's like for the people that are now questioning religion, now they're just getting these movies like, well, what if it is like, well, let's go to the extreme and like what if it's extremely real and like, you know, Satan is trying to dictate everything. Satan. Satan.
Oh, did you wear that on purpose?
I did.
Nice.
But yeah, so in 76, you found the IMDb list to see how many movies you had actually seen.
No, after we were talking, I was thinking about it, and not a lot of them. I mean, just for reference, Taxi Driver, Rocky, the original, Carrie.
I've never seen the original. If remember talking. Yeah,
but yeah, that's another kind of.
Yeah, well, no, I mean, Carrie came out this year. Yeah,
that's like a
that's
superhero gone bad story.
Yeah.
Logan's Run, Bad News Bears, the original. I've only ever seen the remake.
Yeah, I've never seen the original.
A Star is Born, which I forgot was a remake.
I've never even seen either.
No.
One that surprised me. I mean, so I had only like 3 on the list. Taxi Driver, obviously this, and then Salo, 121 Days of Sodom, which is an Italian horror movie, psychological thriller horror, where it's very fucked up. Very fucked up. It's called 121 Days of Sodom. Just think about that.
Is it like Siberian Tale or whatever what's that movie?
Serbian film?
Yeah.
It's before a Serbian film, yes. Like it's a Serbian film before a Serbian film came out.
Oh, okay.
It's like these like higher up like rich Italian people buy these Jews and then torture them.
So kind of the first Hostel.
Yeah.
I'm congested. I'm sorry.
That's okay. 121 Days of Sodom, if you want to watch it. Salo. It's actually strangely like a beautiful film, but it's extremely uncomfortable to watch.
Yeah. Doesn't sound like a cheery afternoon.
It was just only one season, 121 days.
Director. Our director for The Omen was Richard Donner.
Who we have done.
Yes, we did an episode 9 for Scrooged.
Yeah, so it's been a minute.
He passed away in 2001 at the age of 91.
Mm-hmm.
But Richard Donner was known for such things as the Superman franchise.
Mm-hmm. Well, more the first one.
Yeah, with
Christopher Reeves.
Thank you. Lady Hawk.
Yeah.
Which, I don't know. One day you'll do it, just like one day I'll do the Phantom. One day. Lethal Weapon.
The franchise.
Yeah. And Goonies, which I always forget that it's not Spielberg.
It was
Produced by
yeah.
Spielberg, yeah.
He's also really weird. We talked about this last week. He directed Assassins. It was written by
Oh, yeah.
the Wachowskis. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was like, oh, weird how he kind of like fell into that. He's also, he likes to work with Mel Gibson. I've noticed. Like,
What movie are you talking about?
well, the Lethal Weapon franchise.
Yeah.
Conspiracy Theory. Maverick. There's another one on there I want to say.
Was that movie on there, the radio host one? I don't remember.
I don't know. I just noticed that he
did 16 Blocks.
I don't know what that is.
Is that Bruce Willis? I think it's Bruce. Yeah, it's a Bruce Willis. Aging alcoholic cop is assigned the task of escorting a witness from police custody to a courthouse.
So weird what Die Hard did to his career.
He's just the angry cop. The troubled past. God damn it, McClane.
Oh man. Okay. Yeah. So Richard Donner, acclaimed director. It's one of he's one of those that I like a lot of stuff that he's done. I really like.
Yeah, he's one of your
Yeah.
guys.
Yeah.
For sure.
Then we got written by David Seltzer. Which interesting story on how it was written. It was pretty much like this producers were kind of talking about this idea of the Omen, and then so they're like, that'd be an interesting idea. And yeah, it was the believing like, what if like the Book of Revelations was correct and like the end of times is happening, but nobody's aware of it, and like how would that look and whatnot. Mm-hmm. And then so the producers just like gets Dave Seltzer on the phone. He's like, hey, I want you to write this.
Well, yeah, and even that there was this talk about the original two scripts happening. The one that ended up being created,
Mm-hmm.
or or kind of having this ambiguous: is the Damien Antichrist going to be? Which I don't know how.
What I read for that was Richard Donner, the director. He wanted to kind of leave it up to more of an ambiguous, is he really, is he not type thing.
Yeah.
And Dave Seltzer was like, no, that's not the story. The story is that he
clear.
is, and it needs to be clear because that's what we're creating. That's what I wrote.
Yeah,
So, that's what I was hired to write. Damn it, Donner.
I'm just like curious.
Like how they would have like masked it more.
Yeah,
that would have been a very different script, I feel.
Well, yeah, because then it would have gone away. It would have gone into more of like a psychological thriller in a sense of like, well, now you have to pick a side. Is dad just crazy
and trying to kill his kid?
Yeah, or is he actually trying to stop the rise of,
I mean, to the outsiders, he looks like he's gone off the rocker.
Well, yeah. But yeah, but you wonder what these, like, in the past you hear about these people doing crazy shit for religious reasons.
Yeah.
And with this kind of movie, you're like,
yeah, I know, right? You're like, wait a second.
Did they stop something?
Did they talk to a burning bush?
Yeah, you always got to kind of wonder, like,
Did they see the devil in the bush?
Don't talk to that bush, man. Devil. It's kind of crazy how few people know that story. Very few.
I feel like
That was a weird night.
a lot of our close friends know that story.
I think it's also so in the past that even them, they're like, what the hell are they talking about?
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean? Anyways.
But
yeah.
Fucking keys were in that bush.
Yeah, they were. Trying to get in my house.
But yeah, Dave Seltzer, known for writing not a lot of stuff, but like...
Well, we also have to be careful, too, because I don't know.
What?
A lot of them don't... I mean, yeah, I guess there's not a lot.
I mean, he has an uncredited writing credit with Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory.
Yeah.
That was an interesting little snippet I saw. It was like he kind of wrote like 30% of the screenplay. And
like in like the ending monologue for Wonka.
Yeah, and
just
Roald Dahl gets the entire fucking writing credit for it.
Yeah, which I thought was interesting too. I was like,
weirdly, he wrote My Giant, which...
Billy Crystal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which I remember watching as remember watching that as a kid and liking it because my mom was a really big Billy Crystal fan, so by extension I was.
I like Billy Crystal.
And I still love Billy Crystal, yeah. But what really funny is also a joke from Friends when Monica and Chandler are getting ready to like hook up in France.
Yeah.
Or no, in London. Sorry, London. And like Joey's trying to come in, and Chandler's like, "No, I'm watching My Giant. I love that movie. Let me come in. I have a woman in here. No, you don't. I saw Monica go in there." Anywho, Dave Seltzer also wrote a Mel Gibson movie called Bird on the Wire.
Oh, with
Goldie Hawn.
Yeah, Goldie Hawn.
Yeah.
Yeah,
what are you looking at?
I'm just looking at his list to be like, looking one more time to be like, is there anything that popped out to me?
There wasn't really anything that fully popped out except for like that. Oh, Lucas popped out to me that just kind of made me really weirdly want to watch it. It's an 80s tragicomedy with Corey Haim and Cary Green.
Oh, yeah, add that to my list.
Yeah.
Yeah. That looked interesting. Comedy drama.
Cary Green's one of those like 80s girls that when I was a kid I had a really big crush on.
Yeah. Sorry, the hair on my face. I have a lot of hair on my face, but there's one that wasn't supposed to be there.
Greatest fucking story I ever heard, man.
Getting to starring.
So starring, like in 95% of the film.
Yeah.
Good old Gregory Peck.
Gregory Peck, who plays Robert Thorne. To Kill a Mockingbird.
Mm-hmm.
So I know
that's pretty much it.
But for our era, because even then he was in Cape Fear, the original one, which I didn't know.
Cape Fear, actually.
He was in the original Cape Fear.
Yeah, but as a small role. It wasn't a big role.
Really? I thought he was like one of the main in the original Cape Fear. No, the original, the black and white Cape Fear.
Oh, really?
Yeah, the OG Cape Fear.
Oh, I didn't know that there was...
Yeah.
Oh, I missed that.
And then he did...
The 1991.
As a smaller role. Oh. But he was one of the mains in the original black and white one.
Interesting. He was probably like the lawyer.
So I think that his era is before...
Oh, very much before
us. Yeah. So I just thought that was interesting because Cape Fear... Because even if you read the two...
Cape Fear.
The synopses of both of them, they're wildly different.
Really?
Well, because I'm sorry, wildly was really dramatic. But like in the black and white one, a lawyer is harassed by a convict he put away.
Oh.
And then the De Niro one is a convicted serial.
Yeah.
It's like way more 90s and like...
It's like, we can handle the truth.
Yeah,
you can't handle the truth.
It's wild. I was like, because someone's like, oh, he's getting harassed.
Yeah.
We'll stop him. And then this one is way more grab you by the shirt.
Yeah. Gregory Peck. For any like our age, like, because if you read, which it's pretty much like everybody read it in high school, more or less.
But that's even the question. Do you have to read it now?
I'm pretty sure it's still a standard.
Val never read it.
Standard reading.
It wasn't part of her list.
She's from Hawaii.
Well, I'm also like, and then I learned a lot about the missions living in California.
The missions?
Yeah. The missions going down the coast converted the Native Americans. See, like that's what I'm talking about. Depending on your geolocation.
Oh, missions. Okay. My brain wasn't processing word missions.
But you know what I mean? Like, did you really learn a lot about that? That was like a big thing. We learned a lot about the gold rush because
we learned about the Holocaust.
Well, so did we.
Well, I learned no.
Just like geographically, like things like seems like it's depending on the school board and everything.
Yeah, no, 100% depending on the school board. Yeah,
But I'm just curious. Do kids have to read To Kill a Mockingbird now?
I think so. I don't know. I can ask my nephew the next time I see
Yeah,
him.
I'm just curious. Like it's just I'm honestly curious. It's just kind of
I feel like it's
that's
still
a great
is.
movie too.
It is. No, exactly. And that's where I was going. It's like our generation specifically, like we read that in high school more or less, except for Fallon, whatever.
And they made us watch the movie.
And then we watched the yeah, because if there's a movie about the book, that's the teacher's hangover day.
Yeah, it was, that of Mice and Men, Romeo and Juliet, like
The '60s one.
the '60s one, the one that's in trouble.
Need to fast forward through that nudity scene.
My teacher forgot about that, so he saw the whole thing. She was like, "Ah!" And I was like, "Oh, too late. Can't take it back."
Exactly. I can't not forget that.
Yeah, so it's just one of those.
Oh, no. Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, he played Atticus, who's the lawyer.
Yeah, the father figure.
Yeah.
Which interesting is there's this play called How I Learned to Drive. When he the character, it's about a creepy uncle. Cool. But it's told through the story of the young girl, and she has her uncle Peck is the her like antagonist for it. And the character is written, described, and based off of Gregory Peck because of him as like he was such like the dominant father figure in so much media that it's like this idea of this like protector being the villain.
Interesting.
It's just it's a really interesting thing that they did with it. It's a really wonderful play as well. Like it's intense, but it's like it's award winning. Yeah. But I also always thought that Gregory Peck was the actor in the Wayne's World gas station scene.
I don't know
that
I don't know Wayne's World enough.
Wayne, it's Charlton Heston is the actor in it, but like it's like they got this like really old Academy Award winning actor to play this like bit part in the movie, and it's kind of he gives like a weird dramatic monologue. But in my brain, I somehow always thought it was Gregory Peck and it's Charlton Heston. So I was very sad when I didn't get to write down Wayne's World.
Okay. Old white guy with big bushy eyebrows.
Yeah.
The eyebrows, man. There's
Right?
a couple of people that popped in my head. Like, oh, those are some eyebrows. Look at
them eyebrows.
Look at them eyebrows.
They get their own acting credit.
Yeah, 2.
Lee
Remick. Yes, Lee Remick, who plays Catherine Thorne. I haven't
seen her in anything.
No, but just I wrote down like known for Anatomy of a Murder, Days of Wine and Roses, were 2 of her.
What did you write down the years on those possibly, or do you possibly just have?
Well, I mean, she passed away in 91.
Yeah.
The kind of the thing with a movie this old too is pretty much everyone is passed away except for Damien.
Yeah, I know, right?
Like Gregory Peck passed away in 2003.
Mm-hmm. Also, it was jarring when I saw her the first time and the age difference between Gregory Peck and her. I was like, whoa, man, the 70s were a crazy time for that as well. She's like clearly like in her like mid 20s, maybe late 20s, and he is like 50.
Well, now I'm curious.
You're gonna look at the age difference.
Yeah, just when were they born?
Yeah. It's like a 25-year difference.
Came in. There you go.
Because I looked at it because I was curious.
He was born in 1916, and she was born in 1935.
Okay, so a 19-year difference. How did I do that math so weird?
So yeah, but those are them. Who did you have next?
I have Harvey Stevens next.
Harvey Stevens, who plays Damien,
has
is now married, has some kids.
He was a journalist in the remake in 2006.
Yeah, that one, which I didn't even know happened until
I think I remember trying to watch it. I think and I have a memory of it coming out.
But yeah.
I have David Warner next, and that's it.
Oh yeah, David Warner, who passed away in 22.
He has 241 acting credits on IMDb.
Yeah, was played Jennings, the such thing as Batman the Animated Series.
Yeah, a lot of voice acting.
A Total Recall 2070 show. That's what it was called. Total Recall 2070. It was a TV show.
How did we miss that
I
in our
don't
research?
fucking know. I
That's
don't
so
know.
weird.
That was so weird. But yeah, it's a Total Recall TV show that we just... I guess what I remember him first from is Secret of the Ooze. He was the scientist.
He just looked super familiar to me, but
Apparently he's a Doctor Who.
He's just he's a reoccurring character in Doctor Who, but he also voices the Doctor in some audio plays of Doctor Who.
Well, then also Patrick Troughton, I guess is how you say his name. He was also in Doctor Who.
Who is that?
Father Bremen.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, okay, so this movie itself was a joint collaboration between U.S. film industry and the U.K. film industry.
Yeah.
So because it's filmed all in like London and like partially in Italy
and
you know, so like which is like, so they actually got like, you know, UK actors and brought over Gregory Peck, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so yeah, I mean, David Warner, much more popular in the UK world than the US world because, you know, we're different planets. But yeah, I don't. Yeah, and then that priest. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's 1976. Literally, the only person that looks familiar to me, 100%, is Gregory Peck. Like, and it's at this. Which is this. It's like a statement to say is like, especially when we get to older films, like it's gonna be like the big name is gonna be the one that we're gonna remember. You know, like, can you name a co-star in any of like Clint Eastwood's old like westerns?
Fair, or like James Bond, like Sean Connery.
Yeah.
I mean, the one. I mean, I could see someone being like, "Oh, the villain."
Maybe, yeah.
Or even maybe one of the Bond girls, because a lot of the
because
time
they were like
were
supermodels
and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But yeah, I guess that is fair. Like, unless it was like the lead, and then maybe love interest, and then maybe villain. Those are the three that you're gonna remember the lead, but everyone else, like, I'm sure someone could sprout out like the people in Goldfinger, because that's a huge.
Yeah, and it's also kind of a
Martin Benson. I forgot this guy was in Goldfinger. He played Father Spoleto. He was in Goldfinger.
Oh, okay. Jesus,
I forgot about that.
But also it's like kind of like a statement to like the time, you know, like, and it's how it was like so long for Hollywood is like Gregory Peck was the name on this movie.
Yeah,
like Lee Remick, yes, like she has her name on it, but like, I mean, I don't know what she was. I mean, at that time, she may have been popular. Like, it could be like an example of like Elizabeth Banks of today. You know?
Yeah.
You know, like we know who Elizabeth Banks is, but is her name going to
generate?
Live in the same
Yeah.
stratosphere as like Jim Carrey type thing. You know?
Yeah.
Or Gregory Peck. You know?
It's a lot of.
I know.
Gregory Peck to Elizabeth Banks to Jim Carrey.
See over here. But then again, also on top of that is like, I feel like in today, like there are now so many stars and actors, and because of the internet, you know, there is a lot more of an imprint of these people that will exist on forever, and there is a lot more like bigger stars in movies, you know.
Yeah,
I mean, look at Christopher Nolan's movies. Like he has like fucking
everyone,
everyone under the sun.
Well, and I think it's also just with the internet in general too. It's just so easy to be like, oh, I like blank as an actor. I'm gonna find what else blank is in, and I'm gonna watch more of their stuff.
Yeah,
and I mean, shit, with IMDb, you can literally put like a little flag on certain people, and then it will suggest, oh, something new with Elizabeth Banks is coming out.
Yeah,
and you can add it to your watch list, and and even then you can check them off when you're done. So, yeah, I mean,
got reviews.
Sure.
You ready for reviews? We ready for reviews?
Oh yeah, I gotta bring that up to you later. That's an off mic moment.
Off mic. What you
go
guys
ahead.
don't see or hear. All right,
that's on our OnlyFans.
So the Omen on IMDb has a 7.5 rating, And then on Rotten Tomatoes, it's an 84% tomato meter and an 80% audience score, which is interesting because on some of the stuff that I was reading on Wikipedia, it's like on like a re-review, it kind of gets really just shat on in a weird way.
I thought it was the opposite. I thought it got kind of shat on, and then people like in retrospect.
It's like all the way back and forth. It's
and then
weird.
in retrospect, people were like, "It's not that bad."
I couldn't tell on Wikipedia. It's like, do people like this movie or not?
I think people do.
Yeah,
I say people do.
I do too.
You know what I mean?
But like
it's a particular crowd that likes them. Yeah.
But yeah. What did you got?
Metacritic for the critic reviews, 62 out of 100, which came to generally favorable, with 5 positive and 6 mixed, 0 negative.
Okay.
The mixed do get pretty low, but like this, 100 out of 100 at the Telegraph, no name on here. And I just did it because it was really, let's go, 100. Much scarier than fellow possessed child like The Exorcist, which predated it by 3 years. The Omen contains some of the most memorable, untimely deaths in cinema history.
For that time, yeah.
Yeah. It's like, you are going to trip out when you watch Final Destination. You're going to lose your shit.
Well, I mean, the Omen walked so Final Destination could run, you know?
Yeah. And I picked another, it just says C. Roger Ebert, who gave it a 63 out of 100. Roger Ebert at Chicago Sun-Times. The Omen takes all of this terribly seriously, as benefits the drama that gave us Rosemary's Baby and The Exorcist. What Jesus was to the 1950s movie epic, the devil is to the 1970s. And so all this material is approached with the greatest solemnity. Not only in the performances, but also in the photography and music and the very look on people's faces.
Mm-hmm. I was kind of talking about a little bit of that.
Yeah, which I thought was funny. And also, the music in this is...
Oh, it's so good.
Oh, it's so over the top and just in your face and just like, and it's got that kind of age thing where it almost sounds like your speakers are about to blow out. Mm-hmm. It's great. It's so, and it's just like two people staring at each other and it's just this, it's fucking Skyrim. And they're just like looking at each other. It's great.
A dog is just staring at him.
Yeah. It's just a Rottweiler going, It's incredible. 60 out of so for mixed 60 out of 100 at TV Guide magazine. Again, I had no writer on it. This silly and bloody but at times very effective horror film takes The Exorcist one step further by concentrating not on the possession of the devil,
but the devil itself,
but the Antichrist himself.
Mm-hmm.
Which I was like, yeah, I mean,
kind of, yes.
But I also love this silly and bloody. It's like such a wild.
Is that a retrospective one, or like do you have a date on that one?
No, when I clicked it last, yeah, it's not found.
Okay.
So I don't know. I mean, there's no author.
Yeah.
Sometimes they do put the little
like date or something.
It sounds dated though. The silly and bloody, but at times very effective. It's like bloody. It's not bloody in today's.
No.
Not even like 20 years ago.
The bloodiest scene, other than the guy's head getting slashed off, is when his arm goes into the pike.
Or that fight scene with the nanny, which was also buck wild.
Yeah.
You're like, what the fuck? Yeah, she's like clawing at him and shit. I did realize, though, the nanny, I always just think of Robert Downey Jr. and Sherlock Holmes. Never mind, you never really watched them. Well, no, you did watch them finally.
I have seen them.
Oh, okay. It's just he hates the nanny, so he's always like, her whereabouts have been very interesting. Nanny. He just like really hates the nanny. So whenever
I don't remember that.
Yeah.
Also, I have seen them, but they're very just unremarkable and unforgettable for me. Guy Ritchie's very particular for me, you know.
I love this wild. It's wild.
I love wild.
It's all wild. And all the basically as they get like worse, the score goes down. It all is just this comparison to The Exorcist. Like people just couldn't shake the Exorcist out of their head.
That also kind of feels like an example of the time as well. Like critics are like, well, this already existed, so why do we got to do it again over here?
But I think that's also what gave it its hype to begin with. People saw it, the trailer or the posters, and they're like, oh, it's another Exorcist, and they went in expecting this thing, and it's like, Well, no, it's a very different movie. You're not talking about possession.
Yeah.
Damien, the Antichrist, isn't possessed. He is the
It gave a name to the Antichrist.
physical.
Now anyone named Damien.
Yeah, it's fucked. It's like Malachi and the Children of Corn.
Yeah.
You're like, damn
Well,
it.
I mean, naming your child Malachi anyways, kind of.
I don't think you're preparing for the end times. I mean, name your kid Mal. You're like waiting for it. Let's go,
Malachi, come.
come. This is kind of long-winded, but like the negative is 40 of 100 Newsweek by David Anson, who reviewed it in 1976. The Omen is a dumb and largely dull movie. No true connoisseur of kitsch will confuse the work of writer David Seltzer and director Richard Donner with the masterpiece of psychic manipulation contrived by William Peter Blatty and Willie Frendick in The Exorcist. Not to mention what the diabolical Roman Polanski made of the era Lim's Rosemary Baby. So they went, these two, Rosemary Baby and Exorcist movies are great. This is it. And you're kind of like, well, what is it? What is it? What is it?
It's interesting is like I can see more of this being compared to Rosemary's Baby
1,000%.
than The Exorcist because of the psychological drama of it all.
Because also the thing is you're focusing on the parents.
Yeah.
Just like in Rosemary's Baby, you're focusing on the mother and them trying to get her baby. This is them trying to figure out what happened to
they're not trying to get her baby.
They're trying to get her.
I guess they are.
Because she's the
I see what you mean by that. I see what you mean. I thought the way I interpret that is like a kidnapping. Like, give me the.
No, they want her to then create the Antichrist.
Yeah,
you know.
Yeah. She's the jackal.
Yeah, and it's just it's just kind of funny because it's like I was sitting there reading all these reviews and being like, The Exorcist, that. And I'm glad you said the Rosemary's Baby thing because that's really true. It's like, I get you comparing it to Rosemary's Baby, but it's not The Exorcist. That's not what the movie's about.
No, but I will say, like,
just because the devil's in the details.
In a sense of comparison between Exorcist and Rosemary's Baby, this movie critically is not as good as those two because there is a pacing issue in this film, in my opinion. Even though it's 1976, it kind of does drudge along slowly in a way, and Gregory Peck's performance is what keeps you going. His intensity, his curiosity, his curiosity is the only word that's coming to my mind, but like he is kind of the driving force of this. Well, and I guess the audio as well, because like as things are unfolding for him and as he's discovering more, and he also doesn't want to believe it, you know.
Yeah.
You know, he's like even to the point where, like when the guy's like at the Budahagen, whatever the hell his name was,
Bugenhager. Yeah, I can't remember what his name is either. I forgot.
He's like you'll see the mark of the beast on him, the birthmark of 3 6s, and he's like, no, he does not have that birthmark. Like I've bathed. He's my child. I've bathed him. I would know
like every inch of him.
Yeah, and then he's like, no, it'd be under the hairline then, and then he reads no. 666.
Satan.
Also, what's really interesting is that this movie kind of like brought that Book of Revelations, like Mark of the Beast 666, into popular media.
Well, that's the thing, but that's what it's like. The amount that has like spurred on from not only the fact that the Omen is a trilogy, and then there's
4 of them.
Well, like originally there's the trilogy. There's 1, 2, and 3, the final, and then they did the thing where they went, you know what? Fuck it, we're gonna keep going.
Oh, yeah.
Sam Neill's in the last one as Damien, which
yeah.
I'm gonna watch that just for Sam Neill as the
an
fucking
adult Damien.
Yeah, I'm like, let's go. That sounds cool. Even though the ratings are terrible, I'm literally gonna watch it for Sam Neill.
Yeah.
But then they kept going, kind of like all these horror franchises. They really did, to the point today, the first Omen came out, which you're like, this is the first Omen. This one.
No, but this is the first Omen.
But
that is going to be the first Omen.
So it's kind of like you got to give credit where credit's due. They created a franchise.
Yeah, no, 100%,
and then also even the stuff that spurred out of it. I mean, there's an entire
super influential.
Yeah, I mean, The Good Omen, great show. Check it out. It's hilarious.
Oh yeah.
the angel and demon.
Yeah.
It's all about this, but like in a very comedic
Yeah.
kind of sense. I mean, but it's also just, it's like they took this book of Revelations and then it's kind of weird. It's like it's already a thing and then they made it a media thing as opposed to, does that make sense?
No.
It's already the book of Revelations. There's always this idea of the Antichrist and he's going to come and he's going to end the world. And then they were like, they made a whole franchise out of it. I don't know. It's like, all right.
Yeah, they saw a thing and they're like, let's make a movie.
And it worked.
Yeah.
Pretty well. It's like they're not
like,
not good. They're making money.
It's like they adapted a book into a movie.
Yeah, but this is a special book. This is the magic book. This is the good book.
Which version?
Yeah,
that shut you up real quick.
I
Didn't it?
did. I was like, I can't remember. The true version.
The true version. The one that...
The real one.
The one that's from the mouth of God.
Mouth. Not by anyone else that might have had a hand in writing it.
Yeah.
Straight from the lamb's mouth.
Definitely wasn't. It wasn't written by some
Straight from the
king
lamb's mouth.
in London or somewhere.
Straight from the lamb's mouth. Get it? Horse's mouth. Lamb.
But I mean, a big thing is like this has a lot more Catholic.
Yeah, just everything. It's just all the like going back to the music. It's all just really scary Latin.
It's like, what is it? You need to flog yourself.
Yeah, no, it's great. I really, really fucking dug the music a lot. That was great.
But yeah, so like to begin. All right, so we're
I think we're derailing a little bit.
The movie the way that it begins. This is where like in today's like thing is like this. It's a lot of it's very far fetched now. Like it's outdated. Like
okay, say what you're gonna say because I think I have a comment on what
fair.
you do. So
because like the very beginning is also interesting. Like I never put this together when I was younger. It's June 6th at 6 a.m. 666. When the kid was born. But Gregory Peck or Thorn, like a thorn in your side.
which Damien becomes.
Very much so.
Very much so.
Yeah.
It's a real pain in the ass. A little shit.
He murders his mother. But he goes to the church and he's like talking about his wife's baby didn't make it, or it's like he has to choose like between his wife or
their child died.
Yeah, child died, but he hasn't like told her yet.
Yeah, and
then the priest is like, but
we have this other baby.
We have this baby over here.
The mom died. Isn't that a miracle?
Yeah.
You just have this baby.
It's just pretty remarkably. He looks similar. You got dark hair. He's got dark hair. What the mother doesn't know won't hurt. What was the line?
Basically, yeah. But also my first thought was like,
your wife need never know.
Well, then, but it's also like this kid, I'm assuming, is Italian because you're in Italy.
Yeah.
He's going to grow up and he's probably going to look real Italian. He's just going around, buongiorno. You're like...
Yeah, because, if you're born in...
It's a joke.
God.
God. Mr. Hate Crime. We were taking it seriously. No, but it's like also just with that, my note on that was like I was really convinced that it was going to really make it super abundantly clear that, and I guess you could kind of open it up for interpretation, I guess, but it's like, I was like, well, then clearly this priest is actually working for the Church of Satan.
Well, he was.
But they never he renounced God. Yeah. But
that's what they talk about when they find him.
Yeah, but then he renounced God. And he was in the fire, but he was at the hospital. I don't know. I felt it was a little too
No, he had renounced God, and yeah, he was in he was part of the plan to get this kid in with Thorn because of the whole political thing.
All right, you clearly got. I felt that was a little ambiguous to me, but I don't
know. And then when he's there, they're saying, yeah, no, he renounced God, but now he's here. He's paying
redemption.
For yeah, redemption and whatnot.
Repenting.
Repenting. Thank you. Repenting for his sins. Yeah. No, I maybe I just pieced that together. I was like, oh
no, I pieced it together.
Yeah.
It was but it just felt too implied. I was just kind of like, this is not a fucking thing.
Well, but that's kind of like a big thing is like with all of it is like I think the biggest twist in the movie isn't necessarily like that Damien like see the 666 or whatnot is when they're at the graveyard and then
you find out they murdered.
Yeah, well, first it's like, oh my God, there's a fucking jackal corpse in here for the mother.
Yeah.
You know, why would you bury it? That's weird.
Magic.
Huh? Magic.
Satan magic.
That's why they have a grave for the jackal.
Witchcraft.
I mean, that's more like for a writing device, regardless. But also because like the priest that dies with the you know, he's come into Thorne's office, you know, towards the beginning. He's like, the mother was a jack, and you know, and you're like, well, is he gonna say a jackal?
I didn't put that together. I was sitting there like, what the hell is he gonna say?
Jackal.
Yeah.
It's a jackal. It wasn't right the first time. It's not right. Family Guy. No.
Oh. Okay.
God. It was coming. But yeah, no. When he's like, no, let's check my child's grave, and he's like, my actual son is in here, and he's like, if there's anything other than the bones of a baby, then we know that it's not real or something like that. And then they open it up and you see the skull has been bashed in, which then is like they've been conspiring for this,
which is real Rosemary's Baby.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Yes.
it's like this entire group of
You were in the wrong church, bud.
These particular kind of Satanists, very human sacrificey ones.
Well, I mean, I guess not so much human sacrificey. I mean, yes, obviously,
they killed a baby,
but I don't
for their plan to come to fruition.
But is that It's not like there's. I don't know if it was. We don't know if it was a sacrifice in a sense of like they needed to sacrifice the innocents to then have this happen. It was more like just murder.
I don't know. It sounds like some devil shit.
I mean, it's murder. Murder's murder.
Satan.
What has this episode turned into? They murder the child to persuade. I mean, also he's distraught. He's going to trust a priest because especially in this time, if you're a religious person, then there's
supposed to be a moral compass.
Yeah, right.
Supposed to help you and guide you.
I feel like that's kind of like one of the biggest twists in the movie is the revelation that his actual child was murdered. Yeah. Which then everything then just kind of clicks for you as the audience, like, holy shit, this is much bigger than by accident he's raising the Antichrist. Like, he was chosen. This is all like, holy crap, Yeah.
Well, then it's also just kind of like there's that I really enjoyed that whole scene where they're sitting there and they're deciphering the poem and the Book of Revelations and the putting together the whole like politics is the sea of turmoil.
Yeah.
Like the sea. What is this sea? You're the sea. You're like,
oh,
whoa, deep, man. I just really enjoyed it. I really liked it. I thought it was very over the top.
It is,
but it's also kind of is in that. That very like.
Well, I mean, it's also still that's just kind of this time.
That's period. What I'm saying. That's what I'm saying, and it's just like it. You
don't really start getting like really good grounded performances that feel like what's in today's like media until like. Well, I mean, The Godfather was around this time,
but it's also like the practical effects are really fun to watch them.
Dude, the head getting chopped off
was cool.
It's actually really fun.
Yeah, it was cool. It was like, right.
Well, and also like to go back, like Gregory Peck agreed to do this movie because of how subtle it was. He was like, he never really wanted to do like a horror movie because of like, I'm a respectable actor. I wouldn't go into a bad horror film type thing. But he's like, oh no, this is actually super subtle. There's like, it's more psychological. It's not like
thriller.
Gore.
Yeah, it's it's a thriller.
Yeah, he's like the lack of gore and the more of the psychologicalness of it is really what drew me towards wanting to do it.
Well, it's just great to think about behind the scenes. They're doing all these scenes. They're doing these moments together, and we as the audience, like being there for the first time as one of the actors in one of these scenes, sitting there and then hearing the score that they threw on this quiet, all right, action, intense, More intensity. Yeah, there you go. Smolder. And then to hear the music on the hub, I think it's just been great.
That dog is staring back at you. No,
but that too. Going on the animal thing, like that Rottweiler scene and the baboon scene.
Oh yeah,
those are Rottweilers and those are baboons. Like.
Yeah. Those are real Rottweilers. Also, there was...
And a lot of them.
And of course, after this movie, there was like a big, like, Rottweilers were scary to people.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, yeah.
It's kind of like how pit bulls were treated kind of today.
I love every dog, but Rottweilers do... I would not want to be on the bad end of a Rottweiler.
No, I wouldn't be on the bad end of any fucking big dog like that.
Okay, they're going to say any dog. I was like, I could take a couple of them. I think I could.
Give it a good punt.
Come on, Chihuahua. I would never kick a dog. I just want to make that real clear. I love dogs probably more than people.
That's actually kind of true.
Kick a human before I kick a dog.
You would kick a dog if a dog was biting you.
Pile driver.
I mean, you would also kick a human if a human was biting you.
Yeah, probably be more concerned about the human biting. Dog kind of makes sense. The human would be like, just finished Walking Dead. This is it good. I am officially all caught up on Walking Dead.
Oh, I'm not. I need to finish. I need to watch the...
I'm like watching it out of begrudgingly hate now.
That's kind of how I am too, yeah.
I'm like, why? Anyways,
because there's more.
I have to watch it. I need to know what happens.
The baboon scene actually... baboon.
This is wild. You're just driving through the zoo.
I know, right?
Wild.
It's UK, man. It's crazy.
Yes, but there are elevators in Italy. Did you see how that nun got on the elevator? It was just this constantly moving elevator.
I missed that somehow.
Yeah, she's talking. They're talking. She's like, "You need to go to the, wherever they're going, the cemetery."
And she's like, "And quick exit."
Yeah, she just go. The elevator's just running, and there's just these cars that are just going up and down.
And
she
she's
just
like, "I'm Batman."
Yeah, she's like, "Goodbye." And she fucking. And she just boop. And I was like,
"Oh, was that when they were investigating the hospital?"
Yeah, trying to find the records and everything.
Okay,
and she's explaining like, "No, they're all gone. I know what to tell you." And she's just like, "Goodbye." It's a me, a nun.
Oh man. But the
not proud of that.
That baboon scene, like apparently, like Lee Remick's like screams are like legit.
Yeah,
because like
I don't know if you know this, baboons are fucking insanely aggressive.
Yeah. So what they tried to do to get them to act
fuck
up,
you up,
to attack the car like that is they starved them the night before. The zoo did.
Yeah.
And then
animal rights.
And then,
1976.
I know, right?
1976.
And then they put a baby baboon and food in the back of the car with a trainer. Like there was a trainer with the baby baboon, to get the baboons to attack it, and that didn't work. So then they just put the alpha male in the back of the car with the trainer, and then the baboons went fucking
like let him out.
No. They kept him. They were since
like the baboons were like let him out of the car.
Yeah,
like, interesting.
Yeah,
they're scary. Baboons
are terrifying.
They're just their whole vibe.
Except for I are baboon from.
Even he's kind of scary, kind of in a crackhead kind of way. You know what I mean? I am weasel. Oh, we just aged ourselves pretty bad there.
I know, right?
What were they part of?
Cow and chicken.
Cow and chicken, right? He's great. Oh. That's
Mama had a chicken. Mama had a cow.
Cow and chicken. That's a deep cut.
Yeah. Dad was proud. He didn't care how.
That was an era of actually really great, just musical. Because even Ed, Edd n Eddy had a really like
Johnny Bravo.
Yeah, like musically,
yeah.
Like they were like fucking. You're like, this is kind of a banger for a theme song for a kids cartoon.
All right, are we done talking about the Omen? Because now we're talking about Cartoon Network.
Yeah, sorry, what are we at?
We're at an hour, more or less.
I mean, yeah, okay, we'll kind of just wrap it up. I just think that this is worth a watch, especially like if you're into the occult kind of thing, and also if you're just into horror movies. This is just kind of one of those ones. Like it's kind of blasphemous that I've never actually sat through The Exorcist,
and it does kind of. I mean, it
and I didn't mean it
halfway
like
surprises me.
which is weird because I like occult stuff. But what I also think too is that I did have this thing of like I kept forgetting to go back, but I love the 70s, mid late 70s era of film, just because the way it looks and the way the sound quality is, it's just this different. And the practical effects, it's fun to go back there and see how they did stuff.
Yeah.
So I think that I just need to remind myself that this era, it's, all of these different times are these building blocks to what we got as an art form now.
100%.
So I just need to remind
it's like going back and watching a Hitchcock film,
Yeah, just to see how they did it. And
but it's very much like you don't want to go back and watch like every film of that time period, because like just because there's garbage coming out today, there was garbage coming out then.
Yeah. But like so, the big ones,
names, if it's like it's kind of like because of the Omen, even though so we were going into this, I was like, oh, I don't think I've actually seen this, but
and I officially had never seen it,
but it's so much in the zeitgeist of film history.
Everything about it.
Do you know the name Damien? You know that he's the Antichrist. You know the 666 thing, maybe typed, the mark of the beast on him. But you may not know that it's Damien it's an adoption, not adoption type thing. You may not know that he's born of a jackal. You may not know that it was a U.S. diplomat in UK, like the intricacies of it type thing,
Yeah. And it's just it does kind of trudge along, but you even knowing all this, like you may now we ruined it, but I know because I watch all this kind of shit all the time. Damien is the Antichrist, but I was still very curious from a writing standpoint. How are we going to get there?
Yes,
with the parents, then the father. How are we going to get to the final resolution of you need to help stop this? What are you willing to do to stop this?
Yeah,
I was sitting there like I'm very even. I mean, my partner watched the entire thing.
Oh,
which I was really surprised about. I thought she would have checked out and just been like, "Yeah, this isn't my thing," just because it is really slow. It's as old as it is. I just thought that she, and she's not really into the occult stuff very often.
Yeah,
but her too. She was sitting there like, I was like, "Oh, I'm like really interested," and we'd pause it every now and then, kind of talk about a scene. Mm-hmm. So it was just really interesting in that sense to see where it was going, and I liked that journalistic.
Yeah.
Unsolving the mystery.
It's an investigation.
Yeah, investigating this mystery and trying to figure out how to stop it. I think is cool.
Investigating my child. Is he really bad? But it's kind of weird. We kind of weirded it, took a little derail because we were talking about, movies from this period. Like it's a big name. Well, I kind of weirdly drifted into that. But yeah, there's definitely movies to watch that have big names. It's like if you've heard the name of the movie, yeah, like
if you're like, let's say you really like James Bond, like Daniel Craig, you should probably check out Goldfinger.
Well, yeah, or
just to know where it came from.
Yeah, well, or even just Robert De Niro has a big career. You hear big movies. We already said kind of Cape Fear, but Taxi Driver, came out this year.
Raging Bull,
exactly.
Yeah, shit like back in the day, you know.
Or even go even farther back, and big movies like Gone with the Wind. I don't recommend to ever watch, but it's the longest, most boring movie.
To Kill a Mockingbird.
Yeah, there we go.
That's a great one.
Yeah. Staples of cinema history.
Yeah. Fuck. I mean, God damn it, Wizard of Oz is on there.
Yeah.
Because even that, Wizard of Oz is a insane feat of practical effects and costumes and stuff.
Casablanca.
A lot of drama and bad stuff behind that film.
Oh, I'm sorry, Judy Garland.
There's a lot of shit behind that, but it's a fucking...
Sorry, little people.
It was... Yeah, the dark side of.
But even just Casablanca, when you go back and watch, you watch that today, and it's kind of you're like, oh, okay, yeah. But that movie for storytelling at the time was absolutely amazing.
They said that's when they still had the transatlantic accent, right?
Yeah.
God damn it, Elsa.
Looks like it's the beginning of a beautiful friendship. Here's looking at you, kid.
Here's looking at you, kid. Yeah, see.
Yeah, because they're all gangsters, too. 1920s gangsters.
All of them. Everybody. Mr. President. Yeah.
All right.
Don't ask what your country can do for...
We don't know what we're doing next week now.
No.
We'll figure it out.
We fucked it up.
It's okay.
It's fine. But yeah. So that was episode 183 of The Omen. Go see the first Omen today, this Friday, this weekend.
Are we going to go see it?
Probably not.
I know, right?
Watching the trailer, I can wait.
Yeah, wait for it to come out.
Yeah, I don't know. It's like I like that kind of cannon fodder.
The theater is just, it's a lot.
Well, it's just for that kind of movie now. It's like, you want to go see Avatar, Marvel, the big...
Yeah. It's a roller coaster.
Dune.
Now.
Yeah, it's a ride now. You want to go see with the music and, you know. I mean, if this was ever in theaters, the first Omen, I'd go see it in theaters.
I would go see it at like the Egyptian, yeah.
Yeah, just to hear the music and everything.
Are you going to sneeze? That was a sneeze face.
But yeah, so we thought, let's check out this. Let's give it a rating.
Oh, yeah, we do that. 3.5.
Huh?
3.5.
I thought you said 5. I was like, whoa.
3.5.
Yeah, 3.5. Okay, I'm down for that. I really enjoyed it. I thought it was a fun little romp in the... If you're not going to kill the child, then I will. No, you won't.
Oh, yeah, he doesn't win in the end, by the way. I mean, obviously, there's sequels with Damien alive.
It's a good ending. It's really cheeky. Him turning around and...
The half smile to the smile.
Yeah.
Just Dr. Evil smile. The kid's got a creepy-ass smile.
Yeah, it's funny, too, because he's so cute. That was another thing I will say, though, is like he was really cute, and then they did a good job of making him fucking Chucky out of the oven.
Hold on a second, actually, really quick. When that fucking housemaid shows up and they're like, we didn't hire her.
And everything's fine.
And then and they kind of question it. Oh, they question it, but I'm just like, get her the fuck out of the house.
Yeah, and then she gets like really ballsy really quick.
Yeah.
She doesn't try and like break down their barriers and kind of like get them to trust her. She's just kind of like...
She's also like she might as well just be floating down the hallway the way that she's walking. She's like walking very stiff and like, yes, I love your son already now.
Like it got to a point I thought she was the mother.
Yeah. Fair.
Like I thought that was,
she was the jackal.
Yeah, I really did. I thought that was going to be a big twist.
It's a jackal. It's a jackal. It's a jackal.
I don't remember it.
It's one of the cutaways. It's the Pictionary one. And like Stewie's drawing something and the guy's like, oh no, it's charades, I guess. And the guy's like, it's a jackal. A jackal? It's a jackal. It's a jackal. Time goes on. It wasn't right the first time. It's not right the second time.
Coolest fucking story.
What was that?
Still gets me. Yeah.
All right, we're at hour 7 now. So.
Okay. Yeah. So 3. Oh, I gotta put it in the book. In the good book.
You don't have to write it while we're recording.
Yeah, I do.
Write it whenever you can.
No, I'll forget. See, boy, carrot, and it's official.
Cool. 5 seconds.
5 seconds of time. Follow us on Instagram. Facebook, all that stuff. We put our promos there so you know what's coming up next. On all those promos is our link tree where you can find all of the information in which you can listen to the podcast. Spotify, Apple, all that kind of stuff. We're also on YouTube if you want to watch the video. We have cameras now, if somehow you didn't know that. I don't know. Hey, you know what? I forgot to do the other thing I was supposed to do in the beginning. But, you know.
I was about to remind you, and then I was like, let's see if he remembers.
No, you got to fucking... Whatever.
We don't need to do it every single time.
I think we do. But, yeah, so... Like us, join us next week. We're not sure we're going to discuss that once we get off here, what we're going to be doing.
Maybe Adventure. I don't know.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know. See how this goes. But yeah, thank you for listening. This is Tommy.
I'm Jacob.
This is Tommy and
Jacob's Mix. I threw myself off.
Yeah, that fucked me up. Okay. This is Tommy.
I'm Jacob.
This is Tommy and Jacob's Mixtape. I was prepared this time. Satan.